Hello everyone, welcome to my channel, Bow and Arrow Tarot. Today we are doing the mid-October love check-in for the sign of Aries. Okay, my lovely Aries, we are going to be doing Celtic Cross Variation Simplified for this mid-month check-in. And this is just to see what you may or may not be dealing with in your relationships, your love connections. So whatever resonates, just take that, and whatever doesn't, go ahead and disregard. So let's get right into it, Aries. Water signs and air signs are up already. So let's do it. Center is 9 of Pentacles, crossed by the Queen of Swords. Above we have the King of Swords, and below we have 2 of Swords. A lot of mental energy going on right now, a lot of communication. Situation calling for a lot of honesty. We have Judgment. There we go. More. And then 6 of Pentacles. So Pentacles and Swords, definitely a situation to do with finances at this moment. And we have 2 of Cups at the bottom. So it's certainly a beautiful love connection that's balanced. You certainly have come together. This is for those of you where love is... you have a connection, right? That's at the heart of it, right? Wanting to be balanced in your connection. So let's go ahead and take a look at what's going on. We have at the center, we have the 9 of Pentacles covered by the Queen of Swords. 9 of Pentacles indicates someone who's really ambitious, right? The 9 of Pentacles is someone who's really achieved a lot of success. A lot of success, abundance, right? Material goals have been achieved and manifested. Remember, Pentacles is the realm of the material, but the material plane also includes your health, your physical well-being, taking care of your environment, your aesthetic environment as well. It's not just money, right? And so the 9 of Pentacles is someone who has really taken great care for those areas of their lives. However, one thing often that can happen with 9 of Pentacles individuals or with this kind of energy is that in this sort of ambitious drive, oftentimes you can be alienated from those around you, or you can be sacrificing a love connection for the sake of this ambitious goal. That's why it's a 9. 9 is the Hermit, remember? And so in the sense, the 9 cards of this, all of the 9s in each of the suit have an air of perhaps alienation, solitude, separateness from others inherent in the essence of the card. And so here we are, Aries. It could be that your sort of ambitious drive may have indeed kept you, or you may have sacrificed a deeper love connection for a long time because of this ambitious drive. And that's fine. Oftentimes we do that. Oftentimes that's what's called for if you want to achieve something great. But now you're crossed by the Queen of Swords. The Queen of Swords talks about pulling away the mask, being honest with who you are in a particular situation, showing your true colors, not really living up to anybody else's expectations but your own. And so in this way, Queens of water, right? So we have the watery aspect of swords. So with Queen of Swords, we have the heart connected with our communication, with our sense of ourselves, our ego. And the heart being showing our true colors, showing who we truly are deep down inside. And so this is what the Queen of Swords is all about. Being honest with your identity, with those around you. And so it can be also that right now, your love relationship calls for a little bit of honesty. It may call for you to strip away some of the things that you keep, or some of the, I don't want to say mask, but some of the camouflage you may be hiding behind, right, in relationships, right? It's calling for you really to strip away some of that, perhaps. And not to be afraid to be honest with who you are and what you desire. Communication is what's going to get you, if you're wanting to have that deep love connection and maybe come out of a period where you have been really working towards your career goals, right, or monetary goals, it may require for you to really strip yourself bare and be honest with yourself about who you are and share that honesty with somebody else. King of Swords is above. And so the King of Swords also talks about, in the same way, we have the King of Swords. Again, we're talking about the sword of truth, the sword of clear communication and clear thinking, logical thinking, inspiration and inventiveness. But with the King of Swords, he's not so much concerned about his own identity as with the Queen of Swords, but more about getting to the truth of a matter. We have fiery aspect of air, which is King of Swords. Kings are fire. And so we're talking about that forward push, the desire, the drive to get to the heart of a scenario, to get out the truth of a scenario, to get to the truth of an issue, perhaps, right? This could be somebody that you're dealing with. It could be that your lover that you're dealing with right now is really pushing for you to have clear communication. It could be that there may have been miscommunication. There may have been misunderstandings, right? And so not only is the desire to lay the situation bare and to be clear with your communication and honest, but there's also a desire to lay yourself bare and be forthright with who you are. And this is what the situation is calling for. It's funny because you also have a Two of Swords down here in the subconscious. And so deep down in the back of your mind, you're feeling like you're maybe giving a choice, right? Given a choice. Is the choice between money or a relationship, your ambition or the relationship? Is that a choice? And I think for some of you, you may be feeling like you have to make a choice, like it has to be one or the other. But the thing with the Two of Swords is to remember that it's all about balance, Aries. And so, yes, you can have an ambitious desire, an ambitious life. You can be a career person. Gender specific doesn't matter. Career man, career woman. And you can also have your love relationship too. But in order to do that, you have to find a balance between the two. And a lot of that involves open communication, open communication with your lover and being honest. Being honest about how you feel and being honest about who you truly are, right? Judgment has come most recently. And so I think a lot of this sort of communication, I mean, look at all of these swords, a lot of this communication that's called for right now, right? That's being asked for right now in this scenario, may be coming out of most recently your ability to have looked at a particular situation from all sides. An example could be that perhaps for some of you, Aries, you may be beginning to understand why you should compromise or why you'd like to perhaps compromise. It may be that you're beginning to see yourself through your partner's eyes. You could have been a workaholic or just so, just constantly working on your career goals, right? But now you're starting to see with this Judgment card, I think most recently you're starting to see perhaps that from your lover's point of view or your partner's point of view, they may have been feeling a bit neglected. They may have been feeling like you're sacrificing the sake of the relationship for your goals or for your career, right? And because you're beginning to understand that, it's allowing you to have empathy. It's allowing for you to understand where compromise may be needed or required. And of course, judgment, oftentimes when we go through a judgment period, we're also realizing, excuse me, my camera keeps shaking. We're also realizing to let go of any guilt. I want to say some of you, Aries, it's quite interesting because this drive, right? This drive to be successful and this desire to be successful could also be coming from a previous sense of inadequacy or feeling as though you have to live up to a certain standard, right? It could be that you've been pushing yourself maybe because of the family, the way the family expects you to be, or the way you think society expects you to be, right? And that could have been some of the driving force behind this sort of ambitious sort of behavior, right? But now with the Queen of Swords, again, what I was talking about earlier about really getting at the core of who you are, you're also realizing for yourself that, is this who you are? Maybe you have been living up to unrealistic expectations from family, or maybe you have been trying to live up to a high bar. And now that you realize that, and you realize that you're becoming more in tune with what you truly desire and who you truly are, because this may not be who you really are. You may have been living your life this way because it's what was expected of you, right? And now that you're getting closer, you're peeling away some of the masks, some of the layers that you've been wearing. You're having compassion not only for yourself and letting go possibly of some misplaced guilt, but you're also beginning to understand from your lover's point of view or your partner's point of view how they can see how they may be requiring you to talk more with them, to communicate more with them, to be more honest with them about your feelings and about your thoughts on the relationship. Now, coming out of this energy, you come into a Six of Pentacles. This is the energy just recently behind, and this is the energy you're coming into. And Six of Pentacles talks about striking a balance between how much you retain for yourself and how much charity and how much you give to the world. Striking a harmonious balance, right? With your financial level or your financial goals, not being greedy or holding on miserly in a miserly way as we would see with the Four of Pentacles, right? Here we're talking about enjoying giving, right? Enjoying the gift of giving, because you now, you understand that the only point in acquiring things in life is to also share them with others. That's the ultimate joy, right? It's very charitable. This card can show up for individuals who are also working in the field of perhaps civil rights, or working with the vulnerable, working to eradicate poverty or hunger or things of that nature. This is all in the realm of Six of Pentacles, because this is all a very altruistic sort of intention, right? And so in this way, you begin to balance a bit more about how important it is, really, how important this sort of monetary desire or a desire for abundance, right, is. It's not, you're starting to sort of find a better balance in it, a better harmony in it, which will impact on your relationship as well. Right? Could very well be that this is what was required from your person. They may just not have understood this side of you up until now. They've only perhaps been seeing you working away, and now through a lot of the communication and through you letting go of some of these bonds perhaps that held you in a certain behavior pattern, I guess, right? And understanding that there is balance that's required. Even if you are an ambitious, career-minded individual, if you want to have love, you have to strike a balance between the two. And you have to be honest with your partner. And I think all of this begins to sort of, for some of you Aries, begins to sort of soften your attitude towards this side of your life. And begin to want to perhaps share more, open your heart more, communicate more, take more time out for your relationship. Let me just pull a few cards here, and then we're going to call it. I'm going to pull 4 more, Thoth cards, just to get some clarity on the cards that are already there. And this is for Aries mid-October, love check-in, of course. Two of Cups, there you are, and the Star. What you truly desire really is to have your lover and to have your abundance too. Seven of Cups, and there you have the Princess of Cups. At the bottom, we have Seven of Pentacles. So it's a fear of failure, really, right? That kind of pushes you. The fear that after you put all this hard work in, the fruits of your labor are not going to be what you had intended them to be. Seven of Pentacles here has shown up for a few of the readings. And this is, I think, in general, indicative of the collective for this mid-October. A lot of people are dealing with finance issues, or perhaps when you're reevaluating the fruits of your labor, making sure that, hoping that what you've achieved and manifested is indeed has been worth all of the troubles. 2 7, 7 of Cups as well, and a 17. So this is a lot of wish fulfillment, hoping, and seven is the number for dreams and aspirations. So we're talking about, fulfilling your dreams and aspirations. So 2 of Cups is at the top. Let's quickly go through. Of course, 2 of Cups is at the bottom of the deck here. Here we have 2 of Cups crossing that King of Swords. And so in this way, I think this just confirms that the King of Swords may indeed be your love interest for some of you who are resonating with this reading. The King of Swords is, and again, not gender specific, but in the sense that your partner is resonating with King of Swords energy in that they're requiring you to talk with them. They're expecting you to step to the plate, be honest with them. They want honesty from you. And they're going to get it because the person you're dealing with is very good at communicating. They're very good at seeking out the truth, right? And for the sake of the relationship and for the sake of a balance, we have 2, 2, and 2. 2 is all about balance. So for the sake of a balanced and harmonious relationship, this is what they are insisting on it, right? They're insisting on this sort of open, honest communication. You may, in fact, be dealing with somebody who's very, very dominant as well, in a sense. Aries, almost your match, right? Because you're fiery, but kings are fire too. And so you couldn't this way be dealing with somebody who's very compatible with you. They may, of course, be resonating with air quality, air elemental quality, but they're just as fiery as you are. And of course, we know that the air and fire signs are compatible with each other. Now, we have underneath 2 of Swords. So the wish fulfillment is, we have covered, 2 of Swords is covered by stars. So the wish fulfillment is to have both. You want to have both, clearly. You want to have the abundance and you want to have your career, but you also want your love. You also want your love connection. You know that you've been really sacrificing a deeper connection for a long time for the sake of your career, but you're not willing to do that anymore. And this connection you have with this person now is so deep and so beautiful that you want to do whatever you can to make it come true, to make it manifest, to make it long lasting, right? And again, the secret, of course, with the 2 of Swords, again, is not picking one over the other, but finding balance so that you can have both in your life. Judgment comes in over 7 of Cups because for a while you thought you were happy, but you realize you're not, right? It could be that you thought you were happy with the level of relationship you had, but really, in fact, 7 of Cups talks about sort of like delusional thinking, not facing up to the fact that a relationship isn't where you really want it to be. You're settling, you may be hesitant to talk about your true feelings, right? Again, why Swords energy is coming in, this desire for honesty, because it could be that you've been kind of hiding a bit of your true feelings for the sake of just being close with somebody, but that, of course, is stagnates the relationship, right? It's just not real. And you're just not being honest. So for some of you, you may have been pretending in a way, or you may have been not pretending so much, but maybe giving the impression that, yeah, I'm fine. I'm fine just working away. I'm fine being a career person, and I'm fine with the relationship that maybe I'm not putting as much time into. But the truth of the matter is that you're not, right? Because 7 of Cups lets us know that we're kind of fooling ourselves and the world around us by thinking, by looking through these rose-colored glasses at the state of a relationship, right? Thinking that, or saying, yeah, this is what I want, but truly it isn't. And again, looking at the situation from all sides is what's at the heart of this here with this Judgment card. Understanding that we all have an impact on our relationships, and we have to take responsibility for our relationships in a sense that, there's no point in sweeping our true feelings under the rug and pretending everything is fine. You have to take responsibility for your feelings, your intentions, and your actions, right? And it's no good to pretend that you are happy if you truly are not, right? Now, Here we are with the Princess of Cups coming in. And so, interestingly enough, I think that once we get this kind of conversation flow going, once you focus on the really important thing, which is the connection, the bonding with your person, right? Princess of Cups comes in and it's sort of like a renewed sense of love and affection. You work towards this. If for those of you who are resonating with this, if you have the ability to have this conversation with your partner, to be honest and to open up a dialogue, you come to a place in this middle month period where you kind of overcome some of the petty issues, some of the petty jealousies, perhaps some of the petty misunderstandings. Princess of Cups talks about a deep sense of affection, a deep sense of loving, wanting to share your love with somebody, wanting to communicate and express your love with somebody. And this is really opening up for you now that for those of you who have this conversation, right? Who are willing to be honest with your partner and really talk about these issues, it comes into a nice result. It comes into a result of understanding. It's like one of those things, like once you talk with your partner about something, you realize that you're both kind of actually on the same page, right? You both want the same things. And the worries that you had before of possibly it not working out or whatever, all of that kind of vanishes once you communicate with them, once you talk with them, once you explain to them that you love them, even though you love your career, you love them too. And once you begin to compromise with each other about what you both need in a relationship, this is the balance that you'll find. And it leads you into a beautiful Princess of Cups, which is almost a renewed sense of love or a renewed connection in a much healthier way. All right, Aries, this is your reading for middle of October. I hope it resonated. If it did, please like, subscribe, and share. All of that helps my channel grow and helps me continue to provide these readings for you. But for right now, Aries, I'm going to say have a wonderful rest of October, and I will see you in November for the November love forecast. Bye-bye.